everybody, and welcome to Shown on Demand. My name is Shown Akinlosetu, and I'm super excited, very happy that you guys have chosen to join us on episode 6 of my first job in America. Thank you so much. If you haven't watched any of the previous episodes, now is the time to pause this video and head on back to episode 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then come back to 6. Also, don't forget to share this video with all of your friends and family, and also hit the subscribe button. All right, so as you guys have been watching, we've been discussing, over the past few episodes on our very first job in America here as immigrants in the United States of America. I'm super excited to also, bring my friends also here again today to talk about their experiences. I have with me Brother IMT. IMT's name is quite long. It's Imuetinyan. I got it right, like Imuetinyan?
Well, Imuetinyan.
Imuetinyan.
Yes.
Okay, so I have to put the accents in there.
Yes. Imuetinyan.
Imuetinyan. Okay. All right. And then I also have with me Chidi as well. So thank you, gentlemen. You guys are awesome. Thank you guys for joining me today. All right, so we're going to jump right into it. Like you guys have seen, probably seen part of the previous episodes. And I want to hear from your perspective, right? What it felt like, coming into America as an immigrant, your experiences. So we're going to start first. We'll start with you, Chidi. When you first heard that you were coming to America, were you in Nigeria?
Yes.
You were?
Yes.
Were you in Lagos? What part of Nigeria were you?
Lagos, yes.
You were in Lagos?
Yes.
What were you doing then? Were you in school? Were you...
No, I was working.
You were working then?
Yeah, but not really a good job.
Not really a good job, but you were working. Okay, so you were out of secondary school and all of that at that point in time. Of school, okay.
Yes.
But I'm sure you were making some making some money. My Igbo brothers are, when it comes to Igbo, they don't play. They make serious money, I'm telling you. So, all right. So when you first heard that you were coming to America, how did you feel? Were you happy? Were you excited? Or were you like, I beg?
Well, yeah, when the news I wasn't preparing for it.
Okay.
So it was just, my brother called me. He was the one that, we were preparing for him to go.
Oh, okay.
So he tried a couple of times. It didn't work out. So he called me and said, I have this friend that is, that will help you prepare your papers for traveling and all that. So to me, because he failed a couple of times, I was like, I don't want to keep my hopes high. But the thing was, faster than I thought. It was, it was moving. Yeah. And when we eventually, got to the stage of going for an interview, the school, because, I came in with F1 visa.
Okay.
So the school sending me the invites and all that. I was like, wow, this is getting real.
It's real.
So I was very excited.
You were excited.
Because I remember when the school sent the invites, the street I was living in then, there's a hotel on the street. Okay. So they went to the hotel first. So the owner of the hotel was the one that said, okay, I think I know this guy. So go to this last building. And so when they knocked and I opened the door, I saw like the whole package. I was like, this is getting real. So I was excited. I called my brother. I was like, this is, this is getting
happening.
Real. So before they gave me an interview date, and so everything.
So you were you didn't feel like you were leaving anything behind, like,
I burnt the boat.
Uh-oh.
While coming, I
burned the
bridge,
the boat, and the
boat, everything.
Everything, like,
oh my goodness.
Literally after the interview,
yeah,
the visa was approved and everything. I went home, everything in my house, because I was trying to raise money.
Oh.
Both for the flight and for the money that I can use here.
Yeah.
Wow.
I sold my TV. I sold my fridge.
Everything.
I sold most of the important things in the house, and the remaining things that I just gave it to, the girl I was dating.
Yeah.
Like the DSTV and all these things. But so when I hear people talking about, coming to America and having some reserve, in case anything, I wasn't one.
You were not there.
I wasn't. Like I left the house even owing the landlord like 2 months.
Right, before you came. It's funny that you mentioned that, because I think in our very first episode, Shegun Bakari was here, and Shegun had told us how he came to America with just $100 bill or something. And if you haven't watched that, you guys have to go back and watch it. And it was very funny because he landed in New York, one of the airports in New York, right? Okay. So apparently, I think it was either JFK and LaGuardia or something. So they're not too far from each other. So he was supposed to take a local flight from the other airport to Maryland. So the plan was he was supposed to take a taxi, short ride from one airport to another. So of course he's just holding his $100 bill, and everything like that. And then he got outside, this was back in the day where there were meters and everything, So he got into the taxi. He had no sense of there's a meter you're supposed to be watching, because we don't have things like that in Nigeria. So he just told the taxi driver where he was going to, and then when he got there, he was now asking the driver, "Wait, so how much is my bill?" That one just saw the $100 bill in his hand. I was like, "It's $100." And they collected. Johnny just come. That's how they took his money from him. And he was not the wiser. He didn't know.
Wow.
So it wasn't until he got to Maryland and they were asking him how much did you pay. He was like, $100 that I came with, that they've collected. Oh my God! Wherever that taxi driver is, like, God will forgive you. I'm telling you. So many Johnny just come stories, and then money was a lot, very tight for a lot of people coming in. So, IMT, what was your experience like when you heard that you were coming?
When I heard, now my story is very, very unique.
Oh,
now
boy.
let me start it this way. I got a phone call from somebody, and the person said, "You have been selected amongst those that got this American visa lottery."
Oh, okay.
And then I was like, "Who are you? I don't know who you are." And then he was like, No, call me and then let's talk about it, and then you pay about 400,000 naira back then. That was in 2011. I was like, "I'm sorry, I'm not."
You must have thought it was like a fraudulent person or something, yeah.
So I said, "Well, I'm sorry, I don't know who you are," and then I hung up the phone.
But wait, did you play the lottery?
Hold on.
Okay.
I'm getting this
I'm
story.
sorry.
Okay. So a few weeks later, he called me back. He said, "Young man, you're about to miss out of a big opportunity.
goodness.
Why don't you come to Airtel office?" He works at Airtel office, and then we'll tell you what is going on. So I was like, I'm sorry, I don't know you. I never played the visa lottery.
Oh my goodness.
So can you not call this phone number again?" Because a few months before then, my dad was scammed, and I was the one involved with in the transaction that made my dad to be scammed. So I was really, really careful. So he hung up the phone. 6 months later, he called me back again.
Wow.
This guy was so persistent. Now, I was like, you know what? Let me answer this guy. I answered the guy. I told him, I said, "If you call this number again, I'm going to call the cops. I'm tracking this number." I just wanted to scare him. But after a while, I called him back again. I said, "Okay, tell me. I want to come see you." I went to his office. I saw him. He said, "Don't worry, we're going to meet in an open place." So we met in an open place. He reminded me that in 2007,
Oh my goodness.
while I was in University of Benin doing my diploma in law, he came and then he distributed these
the visa lottery forms.
He was like, "Oh, visa lottery, visa lottery." Back then, of course, my wife now came to visit me in the apartment where I used to stay. So she was like, "You know what? Just fill it out. I've gotten a scholarship before." I'm like, "I'm not interested." So my wife literally took my wallet. She brought out my passport photograph with a red background. Of course, it's white background that is required. And then that was back in 2007. So apparently, over the years, he has been playing for every name that he had on his list.
Oh my God.
So he came to the hostel and gathered the information of a lot of people. So he had all of that in his list.
Wow.
So because of course he had access to the internet, he worked at Airtel office, he's part of their engineers there, they had internet and all of that. So he played for almost 4,000 persons. Wow. So he gave me this entire timeline of story, how that he has been playing every year for all those people that are in their list. That every year at least 2 to 3 people will win. He will play for about 4,000 persons just to impute their information, put in their passport photograph and all of that. In the year he played for me, 5 persons win.
Wow.
So eventually he told me, I was like, okay, I called a friend of mine in the US. I was like, "Hey, is this legit? Is this particular website legit?" So he called me back. He said, "Okay, MVC, legit," and all of that. And then the guy was like, okay, he put in my name and everything. I pulled the information pulled up, and then I saw my name and my picture in the in the MVC website. I saw it. It was like a shock to me.
Wow. And
then I was like, okay, what do we do from here? He said, "Well, bring 450,000 naira."
Wow.
If you don't do that, let me cut it short. It's a long story. But if you don't do that, we will, you will lose the opportunity.
You have to forfeit.
So I was like, well, I'm not suffering. I actually needed it, but I just. And then I left him that day. The next day, I called him. I'm like, okay, I don't have a lot of money right now. I've been doing the Christian drama, so we're not making a lot of money from it. So I told him, he was like, okay, what do you have? Interestingly, I gave him 20,000 naira and a bottle of malt.
Are you serious?
I'm telling you.
And that was
it? Yes. And then he gave me my case ID number to continue the processing, and that was it.
And that was it.
Yeah, I just went ahead, did the processing. The visa interview was so straightforward and easy because it's a visa lottery system.
It is.
So I went to the interview, the whole thing was done, and then I called my siblings. Oh, I've gotten the visa lottery. Everybody was so excited.
I can imagine.
And that was it, and that was my experience.
Oh
so
my gosh! Wow, that is an
amazing.
Interesting and a very favored one. 2007.
Yes.
All the way, and you had completely forgotten about that.
Completely. He just he
and
came
he just
back
kept playing for everybody. Are you still in touch with the man? Do you know where he is today?
Apparently, it's a long story. Apparently, he got arrested by the police because he told me something when he told me that if I can afford the 450,000 naira, he's going to pair me with his girlfriend. And then we're going to go to Lagos, go do some arranged marriage. And then I will tell...
Take her, bring her to America.
Yes.
So that she will be able to bring him in.
Correct. So for the... so I will tell them that during the time I played the visa lottery, from that period till the time the announcement was made, I actually got married
during that
time.
period.
So I will go ahead and... So I told him I was not ready for that kind of fraud, and I didn't want to spoil my chances of going to the US at that time.
Absolutely.
So I didn't allow that. So later on, I heard, of course, when I moved to the US, I reached out to him, I sent him some money.
Yeah.
I heard that the girlfriend then that he did arrange marriage for with somebody else was actually arrested in the embassy because during the interview with the girlfriend and somebody else, they paired together. Guess what happened? The girlfriend couldn't provide enough evidence that they were married.
Oh my God.
And they already had this suspicion of Nigerians, of course, you know.
Of course.
So this thing was all over the place. So right there in the embassy, they called the police, they arrested them, and then they were going through their phones, and then they saw a lot of passport photographs of over 4,000 people in their SD card.
Oh my God.
So that was what messed them up. They were like, okay, what are you guys into? Are you into some kind of business? So let me not go
okay, so
too
the
much
man
into
just,
detail.
no, but that was an interesting story. I really wanted to know, but oh my goodness. You know, at first I was thinking, you know, he was doing I consider it like he was doing a good thing for people.
Yes,
you know what I mean? Because somebody else would have that very first time and just thrown, you'd have seen your phone use granite and popcorn or bolly and suya, you know, but he kept trying over again, even though at the end of the day he was trying to make money off of you, but still, you know. But oh my God, so that's interesting. So when you, Chidi, when you got to America, how did you feel? But the moment you got to the airport and you came out and, you know, the first few days, how did you feel? Did you feel like, hey, God's own country? Or did you feel like, you know, man, this is fraud? How did you feel?
Yeah, the experience was, you know, quite exciting because I got in dollars airport.
Okay.
So when I said I burnt the bridges and the boats, I wasn't kidding. I came into America without a phone.
Oh so you didn't even have...
Without a phone.
Mine is different. At least I had an iPhone.
So out of the things that I sold, I was able to raise about $300.
Okay.
So that's the only cash that I have with me.
Yeah.
So when I came in, the person that's supposed to come pick me up said, once you get to the airport, call me. And I don't even want to, you know, like, because it was even difficult to get the person to, agree that he's going to. So I didn't even want to let him know that I don't have a phone. I said, I burnt the boat, so I don't have anything to go back to. So this country,
you must work.
Here I come. So when I stepped in, I just, you know, looked at the airport, look. I just saw somebody sitting there. I just went over there with my bag and everything. I was like, sorry, I just came. I was very humble to explain.
Of course,
so
you have to.
This and this and this. Please, can I borrow your phone? I need to come and buy it. He said, no, sure. I said, wow, that's
Americans.
Yeah. So, you know, that experience was good.
Yeah.
But the next thing was, once I called the person said, dollars is very far.
Oh.
You had to come down to New Carrollton.
New Carrollton. Oh my God.
So, you know, all those names I'm not familiar with. He said, just ask somebody. After the call, I gave the young man the phone back. I say, the guy said, pick a taxi that will bring you there.
From dollars to New Carrollton.
I don't even know. I thought it's maybe stone throw stuff.
Wherever you are, you didn't try. You don't try.
It's always better to have somebody come pick you up for
first time.
I went
and that
there.
is
I was
quite a
looking around.
distance.
All this thing was my own adventure. I just saw someone. I said, okay, it looks like a taxi man. I went straight to this guy. I said, I'm going to New Carrollton. Can you please, you know, take me? How much is it going to cost? The guy looked at me. So apparently that one is maybe he has a good heart. He said, listen, if I want to take you to New Quarantine, it's going to cost you $70.
Jesus.
So what I would advise you to do is I'm going to take you to a place you will catch a bus. The bus will take you to where you catch a train. Then they will take you to, I said.
First day in America.
So when I came out, everything was good. You know, the environment, everything was good. You know, Virginia is always clean.
Very clean, yeah.
But when I entered the bus, so I was looking at the driver. I brought out $100 bill. I was like, can you give me change?
Like as if you're in Lagos, give me change.
Because I was the first person.
Okay.
So the driver was just looking at me. He didn't say anything. So I was like, how much will it cost me so you can give me change? Because inside my mind, I said, if the taxi will cost $70, that means this one will be cheaper.
Yeah.
Cheaper.
So definitely I have to. Yeah. So the guy looked at me. So he said, go and sit down.
Oh.
Go and sit down, don't worry about it. So
I guess he could probably tell that you were brand new and you didn't know anything, because the typical American knows to just put it.
To go, and with my bag and everything. So when I now sat down, I saw people putting in coins in there. I said, so that's it. So the guy dropped me, helped me to get to the train station. So, but I had to get a card and all those things. Yeah. So when I went to get the card and the train card and all those things, I gave them $100 bill. They said I have to go find something to buy. But while I was coming on the plane, because I use
Emirates?
No,
United.
this Ethiopian
Airlines, yeah.
So there was this thing they gave us in the night to
cover your eyes.
So I was trying to use everything they say using on the plane. I want to have that experience. I didn't ditch any of it.
I bet you wanted to go to the bathroom as well. I wanted to see how it looks
I put the thing in my eyes. I will open it and look at people. I put it back. So when I the thing now started, I started feeling some, my eyes started itching. I was like, what's going on? Is it not that thing that I put over in my eye? So before I know, I started having red eye like that. So I said, okay, what I will do is I will find where to go buy maybe something I can put in my eyes. But I don't know anyway. Yeah. I don't have the phone. So I started asking around. So I met this a lady. She said, go to CBS. So she said CVS.
But I heard CBS.
So I went and I was asking everybody, where is CBS? They would be like, CBS? I said, yes, CBS. So one person was, kind enough to say it's CVS. They led me, they directed me to the place. Wow. I bought the distance. I put it in my eye. Thank God I had all these dark shades, so I put it over my eyes. That was how I entered the train, got to New Quarantine. But when I was getting to New Quarantine, when I dropped at the New Quarantine, I started seeing all these, I wouldn't call them talks, but that's how they, I was like, oh, I'm having some
a difference from Virginia, where you were coming from
I was like, I saw some people with their pants down here and all those. I was like, this is the hood I'm coming to. This is the hood,
yeah. Oh my goodness, so that's interesting.
Ask for phone again
to call the person
to come and pick me.
So you look like you had a field day, just even from the airport to where you got to. So
like that, it cost me the whole day.
The whole day, wow.
We came in by, I think, 9:40 something in the morning. Yeah. But before I got to the house with all those, experience and all this, it was like 4 p.m. in the evening.
Guys, please don't do that. That was foul and very, very wrong. Okay, let me show you something. If you have someone coming in from Nigeria for the very first time, please. Yeah. If it's any of the 3 airports within the DMV area, come on now. It wouldn't take you that long. Even if it was an hour drive, an hour and a half drive there. Yeah. Drive there and bring them home. Don't make them go through all of that. That was not the coolest experience. You guys should not do that. Come on now. Let's not do that. Let's not do that. I'm just PSA, public service announcement. We can do better. Let's be hospitable. Yeah. All right. So, IMT, when you got to America, what was your moment? How was your moment like?
My experience was very seamless. I'm telling you, just the way you're doing a PSA to everybody right now. It's very, very good when you have somebody come pick you up.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
that was my own experience. Yeah. Okay. In fact, he was even waiting for me. Oh. The only thing I had to do, so let me just tell you, so when I landed in Houston, straight from Lagos to Houston. Yeah. And then from Houston, I took another plane down to Dallas. Okay. So when I got to Dallas, after all the check, and then I saw somebody, I was like, please, can I use your phone? I want to call somebody. of course, I had his number, and then I just called him. He was like, "I'm already here waiting for you."
Oh,
so my own story was so easy,
and
it was seamless. And then, of course, I know you asked about.
When you came out of the airport and everything, what was the environment? Did you feel like life be this? So compared to where you were coming from.
So I used to watch a lot of American movies, so I was already having a very, very high expectation. So when I came in, the airport, Dallas airport, is really, really big. So the airport fascinated me. I'd never seen any kind of airport, but from our experience of Lagos kind of airport, I was just looking at everywhere.
Wow.
Taking pictures, and I was like, oh, of course, I connected to the Wi-Fi. I would take a picture, send it to my on WhatsApp. Then I'll send it to my friends and all of that. Oh, I'm in America. Took a lot of selfies and did all of that. And then my expectation wasn't really cut short because the area where I stayed in Dallas was very, very fair enough, beautiful place. So when I came in, I landed, I called him, he was driving me home. I was just looking around, beautiful place, beautiful, beautiful. So we drove about 25 minutes straight to the house. And of course, he had a very beautiful house as well. So the area where I stayed wasn't that bad.
It wasn't that bad,
Yes, it was very
So there wasn't much of a shock or anything like that. It was kind of nice.
But one of the things I was thinking and looking at was like, wow, these are the things I used to see in movies.
And now you're seeing them right here. It's right there.
And then talking about cars, I was like, all the cars were looking so neat and clean.
Very clean and very neat. Did you notice that you didn't hear anybody horning? No honking.
Oh, yes.
No honking.
No, there was, I was like, oh my God. I asked him, I said, how come all of the cars are looking so clean and almost brand new? I was literally counting the number of cars that I would see that is dirty, but I didn't find nothing.
Even their own level of debt is not on the level of debt of Nigeria at all. You know, you might see a dirty car, but it's Nigeria is on a whole. Like we need like rain to just like wash the entire country from top to bottom or something. It's so different from here. So you had a very clean, interesting, pleasant experience, but you had like a whole Nollywood show. A whole Nollywood show. That just shows you guys how, you know, things can be super different for people. Like experiences can be entirely different coming into this country. Even just living within this country, your experiences can be, he can have an experience on the level of an A, and somebody else can have an experience far down to, you know, in a Z, you know, region or something like that. It's just far apart, but it's still the same country. So let's jump to your first job. What was your first job?
Oh, my first job. Okay. My first job was a sales associate at Walmart. Of course, when you first come in...
There's a big gift title for this country too.
Yeah, you know.
There's a big gift title.
Thank you. I'm going to get to that.
Okay.
So, so the person I was staying with had a friend that is a manager. I was a manager at Walmart. Contacted her. This person just came from Nigeria. Oh, no, that's easy. We can do it. So I had to go there for an interview. And then after the interview, I got the job. And then they said, you're going to be a sales associate. Oh my God, $7.45. $7.45. I was so excited. And the first thing I did, guys, was I started doing the exchange rate. You understand what I mean?
Everybody does that. As soon as you collect your money, you convert it to Naira.
So I did the exchange rate, right? I compared it. I don't know, I might be wrong, but let me just give you a rough amount. I think it was, about, in Nigeria currency, it was about 300,000 Naira or thereabout. I sent a text to my brother, and I'm like, do you know how much I'm earning right now? And then they'll be like, wow, they calculated that in a month, and then if I do overtime, I will see all of that. I was actually very excited because that was a new experience. So the job wasn't that hectic. At first, I was working overnight, and then I was having my daytime to myself. And then a shocking experience happened. I know I shared it to you one time. I was riding bicycle to work because the house where I was staying to where I was working wasn't that far. So the guy had the bicycle. Of course, I just picked up the bicycle, and then it was really, really cold, but I was doing it. So I was riding my bicycle to work one day. I got to an intersection, right? It was like a four-way stop. Now, the first car coming from this side already stopped. This other car already stopped. It was my time to move after I stopped. While I was moving, the lady from this side did not see me. She just drove, and then guess what? She hit me and I fell on the ground. And then guess what happened? She came out of her car. She was literally shaking, guys. I could see her hands shaking. She was a white lady, and she was like, "Are you okay? Are you okay?" Like all other persons are already going to where they're going to. She was shaking. She was like, "Are you okay?" Me, I don't know what I would say. I'm a very simple and easygoing person. I was like, "No, I'm fine. I'm fine." She was like, "Are you sure? Should I call the ambulance? Are you?" My leg was really hurting me. And "Are you sure? Should I call the ambulance?" I said, "Don't call the ambulance. I'm fine. It's a slight pain. I'll be fine." So I left there. She was like, "Are you sure?" I said, "Yes, I'm sure." And then she left. I rode my bicycle to work. That day I was in pain at work. I got back home, and then I told the guys I was staying with, I was like, "Auntie, what did you do? Why didn't you get the lady's number? Why didn't you get information?"
I was waiting for that part.
Guess what, guys? What? For 1 week, my leg was swollen.
Jesus.
I'm telling you.
So you definitely needed medical attention.
I needed medical attention. My leg was swollen. I couldn't go to work. And they were like, "Auntie, what did you do, man? What did you do? You should have collected something. Call either 911 or something so that they can escalate the situation and you get treatment. If you want to sue, you sue." And the other person, of course, I've been in this country for over 15 years. He was telling me, "Oh my God, this is how I would have done it." The lady would have, you would have gotten almost $20,000 of this. And then I started thinking of this, and I'm like, man, this is the money I'm going to lose.
Can we rewind and get hit again?
Oh my God. So that was my experience of my first job. I'm going to say other things, but let me give him an opportunity to speak now.
Prejudice.
I would say I'm blessed for that one.
Okay.
When I say blessed, not blessed in the sense of the type of job.
Okay.
Blessed in the sense that I started working early.
Okay.
Like, I stayed only 1 week in this country and started working.
Wow.
Yeah, so
mine was
Throw him
about
right
3
out.
months. I was sleeping.
My work was, the first place I worked was KFC.
Kentucky Fried Chicken.
so the guy that took me there, called me and said, "This is your day for interview. Come over. This one, this." And he works there too. So, we went there and I saw this huge guy was like, said, "That's the manager," but he was very friendly. Okay. So we sat. He asked me questions. The interview was, pretty easy. I was like, "Is that it?" So they began to show me around, and they said, "I'm going to work in the kitchen." I now saw all those machines. I was like, "When am I going to learn to operate all this?"
All these machines.
The guy said, "Relax, you're going to learn." I said, "No, we have 4 or 5 different types of machine." Wow. Like you press button for this one, you know when to do. So I was looking at the thing. I already got discouraged.
You were already intimidated. You were intimidated by those kind of machines.
I was looking for. I know how fast food in back home how it works and all those things. But so I started working the next day. The next day they gave me some kind of things to do online and all those things. I did it. I answered the question. I submitted it. I started working. And I think my first day, the guy that trained me. Yeah. He's from my country. Oh wow! But I saw hell.
Oh. Why?
On top
of KFC job.
The guy literally just came. He should be a little bit flexible.
The guy said, "My first paycheck, I should go buy him drink." I said, "Okay, no problem, drink, right?"
Nigerians.
Drink. The drink was expensive. I said, they're going to pay me for the small hours that I worked. I think it should be about $300. The drink he mentioned, I asked someone how much they said. He said it's about maybe 120 or something. I said
120.
Yes.
That's
maybe
a lot.
VSOP or something. It might.
I was like, really?
Drink.
I refused. I said no.
Yeah.
So
when
I called my mom, I said, thank God I've started working and I'm working in KFC. So what's KFC? I had to explain and all that. My brother was excied, and when I heard that the pay was $10 plus, I did the same thing.
Oh, it was $10. KFC pays money.
$7.45, bro.
KFC, call me.
I'm a newbie in this country. I came 2016.
Oh, okay. So that's pretty recent. That makes sense. That's recent.
So when they said, 10 something, I was like, wow. I calculated the same thing. I was like, I told my brother the amount. He was calculating the thing for me.
It's standard. It's like whenever I don't know, if there's anyone out there when you've got to this country and your very first salary, if you did not, exchange it in your head or with a calculator, please let us know in the comment section. You are different.
I didn't have no phone then. So as soon as I collected my first the paycheck, the money I came with is already to something remaining. I went to Walmart. I bought $120 phone.
Okay, you can find all those.
Yeah. So I went to Walmart. So that was, but I went to work one day trying to learn all this machine because all this hot oil. I burnt myself. Like I went home. I was like, this is difficult because to work in the kitchen, especially during summertime.
Yeah,
and
it can
the
be very
area that
hot.
I was working is a busy area.
Yeah.
There was orders coming. They'll be like, do the crispy chicken, do the original, I was like, the man actually loved me.
Yeah.
Because I was very active.
You were very active. So let me ask you this: did you ever imagine in the whole, during the entire period of planning to come to America and all your thoughts of America, did you ever think that you would ever work at a KFC? Was that ever in your mind that was part of what you would do in America?
No, I wasn't thinking.
Did you always think that when you come to America you have like a white collar job or something, like you have an office job?
Yes. So
but that was not the case. They put you to be frying chicken, crispy chicken, and
even if I maybe get a minor job or something. It's still gonna be more fancy.
It wasn't gonna be frying chicken, but you were frying chicken. And I bet everybody, your friends and family at home were, waiting for money for you to send money, but they didn't know you were busy frying chicken. But if it was in Nigeria now, they say you come and work at KFC in Nigeria, you nearly cost that person. Exactly. Look at the look on his face. You be like, they don't swear for you, make up fried chicken. But then you come to America, God's own country, and it's the chicken we are fried, collecting $10 an hour, and you will work
1 year plus.
Imagine.
But the thing was, I find my way around, and I was very good.
Yeah.
And I was loved, and I started like training other people, and I literally know how to do everything.
Yeah.
I can prep.
That's one thing with Nigerians. Yeah, that's one thing with Nigerians. I feel like when we come over here, there's just, I could never ever trade being of Nigerian descent for anything ever. There's just something about us. There's just something about our blood. I don't know if it's, in hardworking. We're very, very hardworking. We're very diligent. You know what I mean? Like when we are put in a place, no matter how bad it is, even if it's something totally unexpected, I feel like we always quickly recover and bounce back. And we tend to do a lot better than people that we meet there. You know what I mean? Like,
in addition to what you said, one of the driving force to that could be where we're coming from.
Where we're coming from, exactly.
The opportunities are not there, and then especially when you come from a less privileged background.
So when you come to a society where there are opportunities like this, like you don't let it just go to waste. You take a hold of it, and then you just accomplish great things with that. So that's really, really good to hear. All right.
It was during winter.
Yeah, I wanted to say this.
Yes, please.
Before you, at some point after my first job after 5 months, I actually dived into 2 other jobs.
Oh.
So. Because I wanted more. You know? It wasn't that stressful. It says as you're on the floor, you're doing stocking and all that. So I was working, oh my God. I worked at Walmart, and then at some point I was working at Kohl's, and then and I got another job with Target where I was operating forklifts. Those huge forklifts.
Wow.
In fact, the person that trained me thought I would never be able to do that.
Do it, yeah.
Because the first 1 week I was doing the opposite. But after then I became a trainer, so I was doing 3 jobs. Can you imagine? One job was 6 hours, another job was 8 hours.
Yeah.
I was not sleeping, though I was making the money, but at some point I began to caution myself.
To caution yourself. I feel like the money thing can be a drug sometimes and a huge driving force. Like when you see, if I work 30 hours here or something, and I'm making maybe $300 or $400, next you start to calculate, say, what am I doing the other hours? I'm just sleeping at home. You start looking for another job. Next, I've done that before where, especially during the summer, like I worked full time and went to school full time. But I know during the summer when I would not have classes, man, I was working everywhere. I was doing security. I worked at H&M. I was everywhere that I could find an opening. I was ready. It wasn't in me to go clubbing or any of that kind of stuff. I had goals. I wanted to be done with my education at a certain time, and I was paying for my tuition myself. So it was just. So there's extra 4 hours that I'm not doing. I can get a job for 4 hours anyway. Even if I had to travel 2 hours to go and do that 4 hours, I honestly would take it. You know what I mean? Just so that I could have, that money for myself and be able to do the things that I wanted to do, wear the clothes I want to wear. And then the opportunity was there. You know what I mean? Like the jobs are there. If you want to, that's the good thing about America. I feel like there are jobs. a lot of times I read in, reading the news, 19% unemployment rate, 9% unemployment. I'm like, where now? No. Job Boku this place. You understand?
The land is green.
The land is green. I'm telling you, it's a kind of job, but I'm like, there are jobs available if you really, really want it. Yes, it might not be the kind of job that you desire or that you want, but that there's not a job to put bread on the table for you or to put a roof over your head. I totally disagree with that.
I heard of a job called dog walker. You can be walking
yes.
Dog,
they walk people, My uncle was telling me about this 2 weeks ago. They have a dog at home, and he was like, that you literally pay people, they come and take your dog, walk your dog, and come back. And there are people that do this full time.
Yes. Wow.
And they make a lot of walking people's dog, Bikono. Walking people's
dog.
About
the ones that,
food taster.
Food taster,
They have like
in Nigeria, taste food.
The way they have daycare for kids. They have the one for dogs. I know about that.
They do. They even have hotel for dogs and everything. A former colleague of mine, when she travels, because I'm trying to get a dog myself, and now just asking questions. Yeah, for my son. No, definitely not a Chihuahua. That's a very annoying species. No, that thing just be barking for no reason. No, definitely not a Chihuahua. But I'm trying to look for one for my son. So she was telling me, I was like, when you travel, what do you do? She's like, we just take him to a hotel. A dog hotel, they pay like $20 a day or something like that, in a hotel. There are jobs, man. And that's one thing in this country, there are jobs. Now, you might start comparing it to Nigeria and say there are no jobs in Nigeria. The jobs in America are not all white-collar jobs.
Yeah. Correct.
That's the thing. Yeah. And the people here don't really care about white-collar jobs. I feel like we immigrants, when we come here, we are the ones that are always pushing the agenda for a white-collar job. You know what I mean? Like we pursue that more than the people who actually live and native of these countries. But they are, like you said, dog walker. Yeah. If someone were to tell you, are there not people that have pets in Nigeria? There are people that have dogs. It's becoming a trend now. All these big lecky girls all have dogs. But if someone were to tell you now that, you know what, do you know that you can reach out to the likes of them, Toke Makiwa and the rest of them, and say, you know what, can I come and be walking your dog for? You will say no, you are too big a boy or too big a babe to walk a dog. But that is an income right there for you.
The dog owner will be like, don't go sell my dog.
And that's another thing, because our people are not trustworthy. You give them Adam, they'll bring back Eve for you and say it's the same dog. They argue with you. Be like, that's not the dog I gave you. So that's another thing. But there's so many opportunities in this country because, number one, the pride that we have as Africans, it's not there. You know what I mean? It's definitely not there. People who do the oddest of jobs.
That's what I wanted to say.
Yeah, the pride is not there. They will do the oddest of jobs and they don't really think that it's an odd job. It is we that are coming from the country where they are suffering. You understand? We are the ones that come in here and look at those jobs. Yeah, we look at it and say it's odd.
I go to work early, like I'll go sit with the coach, wait for boss.
Yeah.
And in the night, just to cut because it's two transits. I had to go use two buses, like two different directions.
Yeah.
So what I do is, one is not that far, so I trek it.
Yeah.
Just to cut the bill.
Just to cut the bill.
So I just make sure I have my gloves, have that. The first winter cap that I bought is, the first winter hat was like the one that will cover your ears.
Yeah.
That looks like, so that's
and let me just chip this in. I know you're about to wrap up. And then the gap between the rich and the poor here is not too wide.
At all.
Yeah, so because in Nigeria it's just so wide like this and there. Here, if you find somebody driving a brand new car, you might be surprised that person is working at Walmart.
Yeah, but because the credit system over here, which also allows you to buy a car or drive, you can be working, like you said, at Walmart and driving a Mercedes. You know those ads that you see, you have a job, you have a car. You know, that's the thing. As long as you're earning a pay every single week, they collect their own, you take the rest of it home. So America is we call it a leveler. Everyone is on the same level. There's no gap, like you said, like in Nigeria over there. But gentlemen, I want to say thank you guys. This has been an interesting conversation. Thank you guys for gracing the chairs over here and sharing your stories with me. I'm sure that your stories have inspired and will continue to inspire, people who are watching these videos. Thank you guys for joining. One more time, don't forget to hit the like, share, and subscribe button. And I think this is probably the end of season 1 for my first job in America. We've had 6 episodes long, so we're probably going to be taking a break at this point, but we'll be coming back with season 2 very soon, and hopefully that will be with our senior citizens. Let's hear from the older ones what it felt like to relocate to America at an older age. I'm telling you, like, I want to know, imagine a 40, 50-year-old, 60-year-old person who's established in Nigeria and then having to relocate to America and start all over again. Like, we want to hear those experiences so that it's going to be hard. It's definitely a tough one. So I'm looking forward to bringing that to your screens next very soon. Thank you guys for watching, and God bless you.